Good morning, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 7475 Southwest 76th Avenue here in Portland. We're located at the rear of the home. If you're looking at the house from the street, we're kind of at the rear left corner of the house, or near it. We have a 4-inch cast iron clean out. It's got a 3-inch cap on it. We're going to insert the camera here and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We currently have water running. Here we go. We'll take a look at this joint here on the way out. It looks like it's done some level of separation there. We'll see if we can get a better look at it when the line's all drained out. And it just transitioned there over to concrete. It appears to still be 4-inch in diameter. And it's looking like we have transite concrete here. And definitely transite. It's got an asbestos content to it rather than aggregate rock, and it tends to hold up much better than standard concrete. Regular aggregate concrete at this point in this line's existence you'd see a lot of aggregate starting to show through. This asbestos concrete maintains its smoothness for far longer. There's much less. There's about 5 times less pipe joints too for roots and stuff to get into. So it's a don't let the asbestos word scare you. It's actually a pretty good pipe product. And this is likely where it transitions over to standard concrete. We have a huge root ball here coming through at just about 40 feet. We'll see if my camera can make its way through here without getting stuck in this thing. Now it's still transite concrete. A lot of times you'll see that it transitions where it switches from one material to another. We'll definitely get that marked for repair on the way out. We have another root intrusion here at about 52 feet. And this line actually has pretty nice slope and grade to it. It drains out nicely. We'll see how the rest of this line looks here, but I would look into the possibility of doing a trenchless liner. And I doubt at this point we might be dealing with concrete at those spots there, but I think it's more than likely just going to be dirt to dig up. And it looks like we've got more roots coming through here at about 63 feet. The reason I like the epoxy liners for roots, though, unless you're going to rip every bit of root out of the ground and kill off the trees that are around it, you're going to have live root systems in the ground right around your repair. Hello, spider. And it's when you have a transition from concrete over to like new plastic pipe, if you have live roots still around that, there's a very good chance they may get back in at some point. The epoxy liner, not only is it incredibly strong, but it is essentially jointless. So if you overlap those joints nicely, it holds out roots much better than a standard repair. They all do a pretty good job, but I just like the epoxy system. One, you don't have to dig anything up at all, and two, it in my experience tends to hold roots out better than a standard spot repair would. Now we've reached the main lateral here. Try and get this camera lens cleaned off. But here at 90 feet is the main lateral. I'm going to go locate and see where this is at exactly, and then we'll let the pipe drain out completely. Alright, I attempted to locate the camera head. I think it's going out to Southwest Garden Home. I'll be able to locate and verify that here in a moment. The street's just too stinking busy for me to go out into it. Still waiting for a little bit of water to trickle out of the line here. I apologize for the cobweb stuck to the camera lens. Not a lot I can do about it at this point. Luckily, we've seen the condition of the pipe here already going out. And we're going to get those 3 root intrusions marked for spot repair. I'll mark each one of them with a white X. I'll mention their depths and locations here in just a minute. Here's our furthest out root intrusion right here. You can see it dangling down. The roots kind of grow down the line a little bit here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this dang cobweb off my camera lens. It's coming in through this joint here, and the roots actually grow down the line. You can see them just to the left of the camera lens there. Now I'm going to park this right here next to that furthest out root there, and we'll get it located and marked right here. Alright, I've located the camera head here. The signal's coming in a little bouncy, but given the distance from the cleanout, it's all kind of adding up here. But we're at 6 feet, 2 inches deep, and we're about 2 to 3 feet out into the roadway on Southwest Garden Home. So I would check with the city. I do believe in this part of town, the homeowner is responsible all the way out to the main lateral. But being that this is underneath the street, I would definitely look into the trenchless repair process. And I would take that repair at least a few feet past this point, because this is out in the roadway. The roots are obviously able to grow a distance. There's a teeny tiny little bit of standing water there. It's nothing concerning at all. Alright, here's our other root intrusion there dangling down. Alright, we're about 6 feet 5 inches deep here. It's a little deeper because the front yard area rises up higher than the street. And we are right at the edge of the sidewalk. It partially spans underneath the concrete sidewalk there. So at this point we've got 2 roots that are underneath concrete. That's one that might be able to tunnel through or tunnel down to without messing with the sidewalk. That sidewalk over there is trashed. I mean, the root system from that tree has lifted it almost a foot up off the ground. So keep that in mind when kind of choosing your repair process. If you've got a sidewalk square to repair there, you may want to look into doing a traditional trench there, because you may end up having to fix the sidewalk pad as well. If you're not doing the sidewalk pad, I would definitely look into the trenchless repair route. That will save quite a bit of money in this circumstance because of the asphalt and the concrete over the top of the line. Alright, I've got all 3 spots mapped. We've got an X over each one of them, big wide X. We're at 4 feet 5 inches deep here. And this one is just under grass. And again, if you're looking at the front of the house from the street, the line is coming out the back, hangs a left, and goes all the way out to Southwest Garden Home. This spot right here is in the yard. It's the only one out of the 3 that is not entirely under concrete or partially under concrete. That little thing on the sidewall there is an earthworm, that's not a root. Now, not that it is totally necessary in this circumstance, especially if you go the route of doing the pipe liner, I would definitely look into the cost difference between a full update, full liner, and that spot repair there. Not that the whole line needed at this point, but it's the most cost-effective and ideal time to fully update this line. Now, this joint here is showing separation. I'm not seeing obvious signs that it's open to the ground, though. Usually when they're opened up, you'll just get dirt flowing into the pipe. I'm not seeing anything like that, so for that reason, I'm not going to recommend a spot repair there. You can still have it looks like they fern coat that joint. That's the black rubber in between the 2 pieces of pipe. You could still have plenty of overlap there, keeping it sealed off from the ground. So unless I can see obvious signs that it's opened up, it's not that we want it to look that way, but At this point, it's not affecting functionality, and it does not appear to be open at the ground. I do recommend spot repairs at the least at 40 feet, 52 feet, and 64 feet. And if you go the liner route, you just want to do one solid liner through that area, rather than to do 3 separate spot repairs. It's going to be it just make more sense to do it that way. And you'll have to generally do a jet or an auger to clean those roots out of the way, so you have a nice smooth pipe to put the liner down. And if you don't go that route, I mean, you can trench it, bore it in. There's a lot of different repair processes. I like the liner. It does a good job at keeping roots out, and it'll save you money in this circumstance because 2 of the spots there are under concrete. The only reason I would say go the trenching route is if you have plans to repair that concrete pad there at the sidewalk, the tree is destroyed, then I would look into doing trenching, because at that point you're going to have to do some digging anyway. I recommend spot repairs at those 3 spots. I highly recommend a rescope to make sure the repair looks good. A lot of problems happen during repair processes. Aside from that, though, the rest of the line's in good condition, has good flow, and is functioning properly at this time. And were those roots to not be there, we'd have great flow through those areas there. So if you trimmed it up, that's what makes this a good candidate for a pipe liner.